Good evening, my dears. So, yesterday we have seen, right, the first two paragraphs, three paragraphs of the poem Our Cashmere Tree, written by Thorudet. And today we will go with the next two paragraphs. Let me have a summary of the three paragraphs, right? So, this poem carries totally five paragraphs, right? So, in that five paragraphs, we have seen three paragraphs already. So, what the first paragraph talks about, do you remember? Right? The first paragraph talks about certain things, the appearance of the tree, how the tree looks, right? And the second paragraph talks about what are things she has come across, and the third paragraph talks about certain things. What is it called? Right? She is remembering about her siblings. If we go little depth, the first paragraph, how the tree looks. The tree looks so majestic. It is very tall, right? And moreover, a thing called right, a creeper that climbs around the strong trunk of the tree till it's to the summit. We call it as to the top of the thing, right? And around the tree, a lot of birds and bees are there, and moreover, during the night time, you can hear, right, the sweet song from the birds. The garden is overflowing with the sweet song, right? And in the second paragraph, we have seen four important things. What they have? The first thing, what she sees, right, when the dawn, what is the time it is given? Dawn, the early morning. When she opens her eyes, right, that they called as a casement. When she opens her eyes and she through the window, she happens to see the tree. In the tree, what she saw, that is a grey baboon, right, on its branches. So under that, its offspring, right, it's a punny, right, its young one, it is there jumping here and there, right? And what she is sharing the thing, it is, right, the cows, right, the sleepy cows going for the graze. And what is the next thing she has seen? We have seen, that is the important thing, right, the kokilas bird, the sweet song of the kokilas. And finally, the last one, the second paragraph, the fourth one, it is, right, under the tree, in the water tank, the water lily is covered, right, it fully covered, and it looks like the snow completely covers the water tank, right? And the third paragraph, what we have seen, three important things. One is, as they said, why she loves the tree. She loves the tree, it's not because of its magnificence or its good look. Rather, behind the tree or under the tree, she used to play with her brothers and sisters, Abju and Aru. That's why she loved the tree like anything. And moreover, when she writes the poem, she is somewhere in France. And when she thinks about the tree, the cashew tree which is there in India, automatically she feels crying, and the hot tears comes around her, right? The hot tears are sheds. And moreover, how she is thinking about the tree, and she is lamenting and she is crying the same way, thinking about the author, the tree is also, it is crying. These are three important things we have seen, right? And today we will go with this fourth paragraph, right, of this poem, right? I'll read out the stanzas. It is the page number 53. So listen to it, my dear. Okay. Unknown yet well known to the eye of faith are, I have heard that wail far, far away, in distant lands by many a sheltered bay, when slumbered in his cave the water wraith, and the waves gently kiss the classic shore of France or Italy beneath the moon, when earth lay tranced in a dreamless swan, and every time the music rose before mine inner vision rose a form sublime, thy form, O tree, as in my happy prime I saw thee in my own loved clime. Right? So, two things we are going to see in this paragraph. What are they? Right? First thing, it is unknown yet well known to the eye of faith. You may think that, right? An ordinary person may ask a question, how a tree laments for the person, or how the tree will cry for a person, right? An ordinary person may arise the question, But here, the author, right, she is going apart from the nature. She is going apart from the human thinking. That's why she is saying, right, whomever they can believe it, it is the truth. And whomever they're not ready to believe, it is just like a fake story. But this author, she what she says, she says that how she's thinking about the tree and she's crying, same way the tree is also, right, thinking about the lady, thinking about the toddler, thinking about the poetess, and the tree is also crying, right? So people may not believe it, right? But the people, those who are believing this, right, they will understand. That's why she says, unknown yet known to the eye of faith, whomever, right, they believe it is a truthful for them, and whomever, right, if they not believe it, it is just like that, right? So when she writes the poem, she was there somewhere, right, in France or Italy. Right, that's what in the previous line also she says. What is that? The dirge like murmur that I hear, like the sea breaking on a shingle beach. Right? She hears some strange noise, or she hears some, an unknown thing and very artificial thing. What is that? A dirge like, right? A person who is crying. Who actually that cries? The tree, it is crying. That's why in the next paragraph, she's connecting this one. How? Unknown yet well known to the eye of faith. That means what? People, those who have a belief, definitely they will believe this one, right? And if they are not ready to believe it, it is just like that, right? Or I have heard that veil far, far away. This author, right, she's hearing that noise, or she's hearing that lament, or she's hearing that cry of the tree. But she is far away from the country, but still she hears the cry of the cashew tree. In distant lands by many a sheltered bay. You have to understand a term called bay. What is the meaning of bay, a term called peninsula. What is the meaning of peninsula? The peninsula, it is a term given for, right, the water bodies surrounds. Three sides water bodies and one side that is water. We call it as peninsula. What is a bay? Bay means three sides surrounded with the surface, land surface, and one side with the water. That's why Bay of Bengal. We used to say bay. Bay means what? It is a land surface, right? So, I have here the veil far away in distant lands by many sheltered bay. That means what? She's far away from the cashew tree, right? And moreover, she was completely surrounded by the water surface, not the water surface, rather the land surface, right? Still, she hears the cry of the tree. When slumber in his cave, the water wraith. Water wraith, it is an apparition. What is the meaning of water wraith, Water wraith, it is something like, a devil, a ghost, right? So, the water god, talks about the water god, right? It is sleeping in the caves of the bay. In the caves of the bay, the water god is sleeping in the caves of the bay. Especially slumbered means water. Sleeping, right? Who is sleeping? The water god, the water wraith. The water wraith, it is sleeping in the caves, right, in the night time, and the waves gently kiss the classic shore. How beautifully she has given, right? And the waves gently kiss the classic shore. That means what? The waves, right, the sea waves, it is gently touching the shore, right, of France or Italy beneath the moon. Where this is happening, either it may be France or Italy, right? Beneath the moon, it is what time? It is night time. So what is the thing it is? She hears the noise at what time, right? The thing it is, the water god, it is sleeping in the caves, in the bay, right? Slumber, that means sleeping. Where France or Italy, at the time what is happening? The seas are gently kissing or touching the seashore. The water waves are gently touching or kissing the seashore, right? When earth lay trance in a dreamless swoon, and every time the music rose before mine inner vision rose of a form sublime, thy form, O tree, as in my happy prime, I saw thee in my own loved native clime. And moreover, she is thinking about trance. A beautiful word is given. That means what? A dreamy condition or hypnotist. Dreamy condition or hypnotist. When the earth it is under the condition of hypnotism, under the condition of unconscious, right, in a dreamless swan, every time the music rose, every time she hears the sound. Before mine inner vision rose of a sublime, thy form, O tree, as in my happy prime, I saw you in my own native clime. Right? So she is bringing the image of the tree in front of her eyes. So whenever she thinks about the cashew tree, right, she brings out the reality over in front of her. Right? So whenever she thinks about the tree, right, she brings the image of the cashew tree in front of her eyes. That's what she has given. Oh tree, in my happy prime, in my happy days, how I used to be with you. Right? Same way, the same thought she brings out in front of her eyes. But now she is France or in Italy. The tree it is in India. Right? So you may think that sometimes some unforgettable thing, if you remember, definitely what? Right? You will bring it in front of your eyes. You will give a life to it. Same way, if you watch a movie, right, an interesting movie, after some years, and if you think about the movie, you will bring it in front of your eyes. You will never forget what has happened there in the movie. Each scenes you will clearly identify, you will clearly remember. Same way, so whenever she thinks about the cashew tree, right, she is giving a life to that, right? Even though she is far away from the tree, but still, right, it looks a happy time for her. So whenever she thinks about, it gives her a happy time, a sublime, a beautiful, a gentle thing. I saw you in my own loved native. So how I saw you in my native country, in my native climate, same way I'm looking you here also. Right? That's what it is given in the fourth paragraph. Right? So we'll come to the last paragraph of this poem. Right? The beautiful thing. This is called right, the sum up. What she wants to say. This is an important, right, a paragraph. Listen, my dears, keenly. Therefore, I fain would consecrate a lay unto thy honor, tree beloved of those who now in blessed sleep for a repose, dearer than life to me as alas, were they? Mayst thou be numbered when my days are done, with deathless trees like those in Borodale, under whose awful branches lingered pale fear, trembling hope, and death the skeleton, and time the shadow. And thou weak the verse that would thy beauty fain regards, may love defend thee from oblivion curse. How beautifully she has given. She has depicted the thing. Right? The last paragraph, it is an important essence of the poem. Right? What she says. The first line, just listen here. Therefore, I fain would consecrate a lay. Therefore, I eagerly want to, right, make it holy. Right? The poet, the Torret, she wants to do something interestingly. She wants to do something very quickly. What is that? The thing it is, she wants to make the tree a holy one. She wants to make the tree a holy one. So nobody should forget about the tree. Nobody should forget about the tree. That's why she has written a poem about this tree. And years together, right, after 10 years or 15 years, 100 years, if a person reads the poem, definitely the tree will get a life. That's what. Right? So therefore, she wants to give a life, or therefore she wants to make the tree live, or therefore she wants to make the tree a holy one. So she is eagerly waiting for that. How she can do that? The followed thing. Unto thy honor. That means what? I'm respecting you. Tree, beloved of those who now blessed to sleep for a repose. That means what? Why I love this tree, or why I want to make it holy? Because my beloved, right, we used to, my brother and sister, we used to play under this tree only, and moreover, they are not now. They passed away. His brother, he died of tuberculosis. Right? And moreover, this Torudet, she also died at the age of 21, at a tender age. Right? It is a curse, I think. It is a curse for the family. Right? She died at the age of 21. Moreover, her brother also, he died of at the young age because of tuberculosis. That's what. Who now in blessed sleep. Blessed sleep means what? They died for a repose. Right? So, in order to give a life, or in order to make them a remembrance, I want to make you holy by writing a poem on this tree, cashew tree. Dearer than life to me, alas, were they. Right? So they were so close to me. Who? The brother and sister. So they were so close to me. Right? So I want to give a life. No, the thing it is, nothing should be forgotten by anyone. Right? Not even a single thing should be forgotten. That's why I'm writing this poem, So whomever reads the poem, definitely they will think about my brother as well as my sister, and moreover they will think about the tree also. See, that's what I'm telling. I read this poem in my school when I was schooling, and I read this poem when I was doing my college days, and now I'm taking class for you, right? So that's why the poem becomes a holy one. Nobody can forget about the poem. So whomever reads the poem, right, at that time, right, the tree gets a life, right? So why she wants to make it holy? Because, right, that only one thing, she loved her brother and sister like anything, and moreover in her for the remembrance, right, she wants to make it holy, right? Mayst thou be numbered when my days are done, right? She clearly come to a conclusion that her days are numbered. That means what? She's counting her last days. She's counting her last. That's what she's clearly has given. May so be numbered when my days are done. Right? I'm going to die soon. My days are being counted. Means what? She's not going to live for a long days, right? She's at the death of hour. She's the last hour. She's the last breath. Right? That's what she has given. She has written beautifully. Mayst be numbered when my days are done. With the deathless trees like those in Borrowdale. Here, the poet has used one literary, right, a thing. What is the literary criticism? What is the literary thing she has used here? Literary imagine. What is the literary imagery she has used here? Borrowdale. Borrowdale, it is a place where in England, right? So if you see the William Shakespeare, right, he has spoken about the tree, right? The tree is in Borrowdale. What tree? It is yew tree. Y-E-W. Yew tree. The pronunciation of the tree, it is U. Y-E-W. Right? So how the William Shakespeare, the another poet, right, he has talked about, right, in his poem, yew trees in Borrowdale, right, in Borrowdale, about the yew trees, same way, right. So whenever, right, whenever the reader reads the poem of Shakespeare, and they will think about the yew trees that is there in the Borrowdale. Same way, whomever reads the poem, right, or Casuarina tree, will definitely will think about this Casuarina tree, right? So it will get a life. That's what. So with the deathless trees like those in Borrowdale. So in Borrowdale, if you see deathless trees, that means what, are very huge trees, right? So those trees will never, right, turn into dust for a, right, it will remain there for long years, right? So the deathless trees there in Borrowdale, that is what trees? Yew trees. Like yew trees in Borrowdale, which are, right, which are deathless. Same way, I'm also consecrate you. I'm also making you holy. Which one? The Casuarina tree. Under whose awful branches lingered pale. Lingered means what? Stale, right? A pale one. Fear, trembling hope, and death, the skeleton, and the time, the shadow, time, T-I-M-E, it is given capital T, that is personification, right? So in between, the author uses a, a poetic device that is called the time. The time, it is talks about the life. Personification. What is the meaning of personification? You know very well, right? Inanimate objects are portrayed as a living thing, that we call it as a personification. I think one more poem, Robert Frost, he has written a beautiful poem when the first Samachir Kalvi book came. In that one, a beautiful line it will be there, right? When she found us soon. Robert Frost going for water. The poem name it is Going for Water. So in that, the poet, right, he talks about the moon, and he will depict the moon as she. She used, or she compares the moon to a woman, right? She, that means moon. Same way here also, what she said, the time means what? The life, right? So what is the condition of this poet when she writes the poem? It is, she is under fear. Second thing is trembling hope. There is no surety for our life. And third one is death. She is nearing the death. And the skeleton, right? She became very lean, right? She is not well. She is sick, right? She is bedridden. And time, the shadow. She is just breathing, that's all. Whenever, right, she may go off from the earth. That's why, right? So how, in what condition she has written this poem, right? Under the situation or under the condition of fear, trembling hope, there is no hope at all, and death. She is nearing the death. I mean, she is nearing the, or she is numbering her days. The skeleton, she has become what? Bedridden, sick. And the time, the shadow, and though the weak was, though the weak means what? This poem, though the weak was, that would beauty faint, oh faint regards. That's why she's singing the poem often, right? Regards, you know what is the meaning of regards? Regards, you used to say no, like before a dance practice or before a singing competition, we used to rehearse, means we used to practice it. That's why the lady, the poet, right, Tordet also regards by writing the poem once again, once again, once again, once again, once again. What are things she can collect it and she can make it as a poem, right? And may love defend thee from oblivion curse. Oblivion, right? Nobody should forget this poem. She wants to make it holy. She wants to make it a infinitive one, right? Obvious curse means what? Even under no situation, this poem should not be forgotten. This poetic line should not be forgotten. This poetic line should not go away from the literature. That's why she has beautifully, may love defend thee from oblivion curse. Nobody should forget the poem, right? So forgetfulness, it is an important thing. It is something like a medicine. Forgetfulness, it is a good medicine, right? If a person, right, if he lacks in forget, definitely he'll become mad. You just think about, right from your birth till now, if you happen to remember everything, definitely you'll go mad. Definitely you'll go mad, yes, of course. Certain things we wish to, certain things we want to forget, and certain things we wish to forget, right? So it's a blessed one, right? God has given the thing called forget. So unless and until, right, if you forget something, right, we will lose a peace of mind, right? So here also, but what she says in this poem, she wants to, right, a thing, what is it called, nobody should forget the poem. Nobody should forget the relationship between the Tordet as well as the cashew tree. Even love should not forget. That's what she has given, right? So throughout the poem, right, we have seen, right? So I'll tell you step by step from the paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a link, right? So what is the main thing of the poem? It is the poet has written this poem on behalf of a tree, right? Nobody should forget the tree, first of all. Why she has written the poem? In order to, right, remember, right, the beautiful days when she spent with the cashew tree, right? And she has used a lot of poetic devices also, simile, right? So the first line itself, the author used a poetic device we call as simile, like a huge python, right? The first line itself, she has used a poetic device, and then and there a lot of metaphor, personification, right, literary allusion she has also used. What is literary allusion? I told you, what is it called, a borrowed, right? That means what? Yew trees. Shakespeare, in his poem, he used yew trees, that is there in the borrowed. Same way, the particular thing she has used the borrowed yew trees. That's why it will be considered as a literary allusion, right? So a lot of imagery she has used in this poem. Okay, fine. So first paragraph talks about the grand appearance of the tree. The second paragraph talks about the monkey, the kokila, the cow, and the water lilies. The third paragraph talks about only three important things: the love for the brothers and sister, and moreover, right, whenever she thinks about the tree, she is crying. Thinking about the tree, how she cries, same way the tree also thinking about the Tordet, the tree also is crying. How beautifully she has written, right? And in the fourth paragraph, what she talks, right, the people those who can believe, right, or the people those who, right, happens to believe, they only will believe it, right? An ordinary person will never believe this kind of imagination, right? But the people those who love the poetry, they alone will believe it. And when she writes this poem, she is there in somewhere France or Italy, right? She happens to hear the clement, right, the cry of the cashew tree far away, right? So at what time? During the night time, right, under the moon, beneath the moon, during the night time, when the water, right, god sleeps in the caves of the bay, and moreover the sea waves gently kisses or gently touches the seashore, at that time she hears it. And moreover, the earth tranced, the earth is under the condition of unconscious, under the condition of hypnotism, right? she is, thinking about all those things, right? And how, she brings about the tree in front of her eyes, how she spend the beautiful days, right, with the tree or under the tree. Everything she brings, all those things, incidents she brings in front of her eyes. And the last paragraph, she want to make it holy by writing a poem, right? And for whom it is written, in order, in favor of a brother as well as the sister Abju and Aru, right? And under what condition she is writing the poem, fear, trembling of hope, skeleton, death, right? So under these four critical situations she writes this poem. So she is under the bedridden, but still, right, her one and only motive it is she wants to make the poem, right? She wants to give, right, a life, no, a deathless, like the trees in the Borodale, yew trees in England. Same way, she also wants to, right, make it a holy one, and she's eagerly waiting to do that one, right? And moreover, nobody should forget about the tree, right? So these are the important essence of the poem the Casuarina tree. Okay, that's all, we have seen all the 5 paragraphs of the poem. I hope you understood the poem. So dears, once again, after reading the poem, go through it para by para. You connect it, right? First paragraph with the second paragraph, then second paragraph with the third one, then third to the fourth, and fourth to the fifth. You just connect. How the poet, right, she creates a link between the paragraph to paragraph. She has beautifully created a link, right? So that when you read it, you'll come to know about it, right? So if at all, if you hear it out, kindly let me know with the text, right? So until then, take care, be safe. What to say? Better avoid going for public places for a few days, right? For a few days, because these 2 or 3 weeks, the spread may go, very worse, right? So it is better to stay away from the crowds as well as never go outside of your home, right? Stay sanitized, right? Thank you, my dears. See you in the next class.